Hi, Dad. Are you a thinker or a feeler? When we're talking about thinking and feeling, there's a little bit of difference between men and women, and maybe a big difference. But men tend to lead many times with thinking or how they think about something, and women will many times lead about how they feel about something. So this communication between men and women, or fathers and daughters, can sometimes get in the way or doesn't provide good understanding. So what do I mean? So your daughter's having problems with math. So a man might lead with, well, what do you think is wrong with your math skills? And the daughter might be thinking, I hate math. And it's just a conversation that's kind of black and white, yes, no, I don't like it. The farther on, or moving that conversation into the feel, is why do you feel that way? Oh, it just frustrates me. It just ruins my life when math can... So there's all this emotion that ends up being bubbled up in her. So a lot of times when we're trying to solve a problem or understand, we need to connect with both the head and the heart, both with the thinking and the feeling. And so many times what will happen in a conversation between a father and daughter is the father leads with think, and he says, what do you think about math? And she said, I hate it. It's over. A better way potentially is moving into, well, why do you feel that way? What thoughts do you have about that? And then she can come back and go, oh, math is just such a bummer. And it does this and it does that. Now, so what we're needing to do here is get both sides of the equation. Because if she's got all this emotion with math, as you know, you're not in the performance zone. You can't get things done correctly in your life if you've got tight emotions in that. But consequently, you can't solve an algebra problem just because you feel good about the X factor. You have to think about it. So many times you have to diffuse, especially with your daughter, diffuse that feeling part of her. And try to understand, what are you feeling about that, honey? What emotions do you have? And it's unlocking that emotion and say, I understand that math is really tough for you emotionally, but I think if we just work through the process, we might be able to help you. So the connection point we're talking here is many times with dealing with your daughter, it might be better to lead with words like, how do you feel? How are you thinking? What are your emotions concerning a problem? Diffuse those and then move into think. Sometimes talking about thinking and problem solving on that level might be the best way to lead. But many times, men, we will lead with our thinking rather than our feeling, and it's hard to get our feelings out. Oh, he never tells me how he feels about something. Well, how can you have a quick way of thinking about this? I prefer to think about it flipping the switch from my head and to my heart. It's just, here's the switch. Have I been communicating on think, or have I been communicating on feel? So if you're starting a conversation and you're getting nowhere with your daughter and you don't know where to go, it's like, man, I need to get some information about this math. We've got to solve this. Flip the switch and say, well, what are your emotions? What are your feelings? Why is this so knotted up for you? If you end up having dealt there and get the emotions out of it, then you can flip the switch here and say, well, here's how you can solve this problem. Here's how X works, but it's very hard to move to solving X until you've dealt with the emotions. So my suggestion in communications, many times, men, women, father, daughter, is to think about this switch. It's kind of a black and white, yes and no space up here with your head. Flip the switch down here and say, I need to deal with the feelings and the emotions, and it's both sides of the equation. Because as you know, guys, and a lot of times in our world, it ends up being, well, the golf ball is just sitting right there. How come I can't hit it? And we understand that our head is tied up because our emotions are like, oh man, I'm going to hit it in the water. So we have these head, heart, feeling, thinking, feeling emotions also. So translate that. And remember, flip the switch. If you're not communicating, flip the switch. Thinking, feeling, thinking. And you'll move your communication forward. Think, feel, head, emotions, head, heart, flip the switch, improve your communication. Thanks for stopping by.